Honourable Ministers will first sign the agreed minutes of the 12th session of the Mauritius-Seychelles Joint Commission.
Minister for Family Affairs, members of the Seychelles delegation, honorable ministers, and members of the press. Good morning. I'm delighted today to welcome His Excellency, President Faure, and his distinguished delegation to Mauritius on the occasion of his first state visit to our country. It's a pleasure to address the press together with President Faure, and I thank you all for your presence. The President and I met this morning and had productive discussions on the breadth and importance of our bilateral relations and how to create opportunities for all of our peoples. I wish to thank the government of Seychelles, through President Faure, for the valuable support that we received on the Chagos Archipelago at the United Nations. Seychelles will continue to stand by us as Mauritius prepares to take the matter to the International Court of Justice. Our ability to collaborate was an important component of our bilateral relations, and we commend the progress achieved so far in respect of the joint management of the extended continental shelf. I'm pleased to announce that Seychelles will host the Secretariat of the Extended Continental Shelf, and the CEO will be recruited from Mauritius. This is in itself a significant achievement for our two island states. Mauritius looks forward to welcoming Seychelles to the next meeting of the Joint Commission in January 2018, prior to the first meeting of the Ministerial Council, which Seychelles will host in May-June 2018. This morning, President Faure and I gave our approval to the outcome of the 12th session of the Mauritius-Seychelles Joint Commission on Bilateral Cooperation held on the 23rd of October 2017. I am satisfied that the 12th session of the Joint Commission has resulted in a successful outcome, and as we have just witnessed, the agreed minutes of the Joint Commission and 5 MOUs in different fields have been signed. These are just examples of what can be achieved when our two nations work effectively together. Mauritius expects the recruitment procedures for teachers to be completed by the end of the year to enable the selected candidates to proceed to Seychelles so as to take up the job in January 2018. We look forward to an early implementation of the MOU on health cooperation in order to advance the recruitment of Mauritian doctors by Seychelles. Mauritius is pleased to know that State Bank of Mauritius, Seychelles, has been set up and strategically located on the Asia-Africa corridor. Seychelles fits nicely within the SBM Group regional expansion strategy and government's Africa strategy. Mauritius had agreed in 2015 to increase the number of sponsored scholarships to Seychelles by 5 over a period of 3 years to be financed under the State Bank of Mauritius Education Fund. And this offer will materialize as soon as the SBM branch in Seychelles becomes operational. We agreed to conclude an MOU with a view to facilitating exchanges in the field of agriculture and to addressing the impediments for export of agricultural products. And after several rounds of consultations and meetings between our two authorities, we are looking forward to the conclusion of the MOU by the end of this year so that exports of agricultural products to Seychelles start in 2018. In this context, a technical team from Seychelles will visit Mauritius in November to engage with technicians of the Ministry of Agro-Industry. Our common concern as small island developing states remains the challenges of climate change, and we have agreed to remain actively engaged under the UNDP Joint Project Adaptation Fund for inter alia, the rehabilitation of degraded coral reefs. We commend Seychelles for the progress achieved in the preservation and protection of its environment by promoting best eco-friendly practices. We will collaborate with the EU and our development partners in alleviating marine waste. We will also engage with the IOC to extend this collaboration to the region. IOC members have recognized the financial resources allocated to the interim economic partnership agreement signatories, and we have agreed to come up with concrete project proposals, particularly pertaining to climate change, in order to tap into the dedicated financial envelope. We also appreciate Seychelles' success in the development of the sustainable tourism label. We will work with renewed interest with Seychelles in terms of sharing of information and best practices. Since 2016, both countries are engaged in a joint fisheries surveillance program, SmartFish, which enables exchange of information pertaining to licenses, permits, and regional vessel monitoring system. We have thus agreed to move towards joint operations against illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing post-termination of SmartFish program in 2018. The excellent collaboration with Seychelles in the fight against piracy and drug proliferation in our region will continue. Seychelles will support Mauritius in mobilizing regional efforts in the fight against maritime piracy and proliferation of drugs through exchange of information at the level of the region. And I congratulate Seychelles for the successful tenure of the chairmanship of the contact group on piracy off the coast of Somalia, and for the holding of its 20th session in July 2017 in Mauritius. As Mauritius prepares to take over from Seychelles in January 2018, we rely on the full support of the Seychelles government. Mauritius and Seychelles have come up with common positions so that the concerns of seals are addressed at the level of the Indian Ocean Tuna Commission. And whilst we understand the objectives of the IOTC to rebuild the Indian Ocean yellowfin tuna stock, we agree to remain vigilant during adoption of all decisions taken by the IOTC to ensure that same do not have an adverse impact on our fishing industries. The IOC ministerial meeting on maritime security in January 2018 and the meeting on food security in March 2018, to be hosted by Mauritius and Madagascar respectively, will be another occasion to reaffirm our commitments and come up with concrete actions. We will continue our advocacy for the promotion of economic and social development of the region and the creation of a large single market with free movement of goods and services while promoting intra-regional trade. I have no doubt that the official visit of His Excellency President Ford and his delegation will strengthen the fraternal relations between our two countries. I wish you a very pleasant stay in Mauritius, Your Excellency, and may I now invite you to take the floor. Thank you.
The Prime Minister of Mauritius, Your Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister, Your Excellency, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, members of the delegation on the Mauritian side, distinguished guests, and friends of the media. It is wonderful to be here in Mauritius and meet with you, my good friend and brother, Prime Minister Pravin Jagnnath. Mauritius is one of Seychelles' closest and valued neighbors, and a nation with which we share a special relationship. I am truly honored by your warm welcome, hospitality, and friendship. I would like to convey warm greetings and good wishes from the people of Seychelles. My visit to Mauritius affirms the strong friendship that exists between our two countries, one that is cemented by our cultural and insular affinities and historical ties. Today, this relationship is vibrant, expansive, and mutually beneficial. My visit to Mauritius confirms our common commitment to take our relations to new heights. When Seychelles and Mauritius support one another, we make our countries more secure, our people more prosperous, and we make our region better. My discussions with the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Pravin Jagnnath, were fruitful and productive. We happily noted that Seychelles and Mauritius over the past decades have developed a strong synergy at both bilateral and regional levels. Given the results of our close relationship, both sides expressed the desire to work together in developing a more strategic partnership for our mutual benefit. We expressed our commitment to continue utilizing our Joint Commission for Bilateral Cooperation to consolidate our bilateral relations. To date, we have signed agreements and memoranda of understanding between our two countries in various sectors of development, including those signed this morning in the field of tackling transnational crimes. We expressed our satisfaction with the progress of discussions on the joint management of the continental shelf. We agreed that the endorsement of a 3-year plan to manage the area is a vital step to move the process forward. We celebrated enhanced air connectivity between Seychelles and Mauritius, which will boost business, tourism, cultural activities, as well as nature, nurture people-to-people relationships. We also discussed existing trade and commercial relations and other economic ties. We agreed that considerable opportunities still exist for further expansion, to bring our economies closer together, to drive more growth, create more opportunities for our entrepreneurs, and generate wealth for our people. We discussed and agreed to support our countries to bring down the cost of pharmaceutical products by establishing a mechanism of bulk purchasing. Similarly, the Seychelles Trading Company, STC, will work closely with the Mauritian Trading Company to procure certain basic essential commodities through bulk purchasing that will benefit our people. We are committed to continue working together in consolidating and expanding sub-regional, regional, and continental cooperation. It is essential that we stay at the heart of initiatives that nurture collaboration and collective action. On this note, we remain resolute in making Indian Ocean Rim Association and the Indian Ocean Commission stronger and more decisive, action-oriented regional institutions. We are also in agreement on the need to strengthen our advocacy activities at the international level, particularly with regard to the concerns of seas, effects of climate change, and developing the blue economy. I have invited Prime Minister Jugnauth to visit Seychelles, which he has kindly accepted. The visit will take place on mutually convenient dates. Thank you all members of the media for being here. Thank you for supporting this most important and valued relationship. Thank you.